A funeral today in a city on edge. Services were held in Sacramento, California for 22-year-old Stephon Clark. He was shot and killed by police earlier this month, leading to days of protests. We'll have the full story right after the news summary. In the day's other news, Russia retaliated for the expulsions of more than 150 Russian diplomats by the U.S. and other nations. Moscow tossed out the same number, including 60 American diplomats. It is also closing the U.S. consulate in St. Petersburg after the U.S. closed the Russian consulate in Seattle. This followed the poisoning of a former Russian spy in England. More funerals today in the Russian city of Kemerovo. A shopping mall fire killed 64 people there on Sunday. 41 of the dead were children. Today at a local school, teachers and classmates piled stuffed animals and hanged pictures of those they had lost. One woman accused officials of washing their hands of it and shifting responsibility. Families in Venezuela are demanding answers after 68 people died in a fire during a jail riot. It happened Wednesday in the town of Valencia in Carabobo State, 100 miles west of Caracas. Family members of inmates clashed with police outside the prison, and officers fired tear gas. Today, people were still angry.
There was a riot here. I came quickly. When I arrived, the cruelest news we received was that they burned them. They killed them. They assassinated them because they were locked up in a jail cell. They're not crazy enough to burn themselves. They were burned. They were killed here like dogs.
The United Nations has called for a prompt investigation into the deaths. In Egypt, early estimates from this week's presidential election suggest incumbent Abdel Fattah el-Sisi will win 92% of the votes cast. But as ballots were counted today, state media reported that voter turnout was only about 40%. That is despite government payments and even threats. Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai returned to Pakistan today. It was her first visit since being shot by Taliban militants in 2012 for promoting education for girls. She met with Pakistan's Prime Minister in Islamabad and said she had longed for a homecoming.
For the last 5 years, I have dreamed that I can set foot in my country. Whenever I traveled by plane or car, I see the cities of London, New York. I was told, just imagine you were in Pakistan. It was never true. But now, today, I see. I am very happy.
The visit is taking place under heavy security and is expected to last for several days. Back in this country, a Maryland appeals court agreed on a new trial for a man whose murder case was featured in the NPR podcast Serial. Adnan Syed has spent almost 20 years in prison for the killing of an ex-girlfriend. Today's ruling upheld a lower court that vacated Syed's conviction because his lawyer failed to cross-examine a key witness. And Wall Street closed out a volatile week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 254 points to close at 24,103. The Nasdaq rose 114 points, and the S&P 500 added nearly 36. The markets will be closed tomorrow for Good Friday. Still to come on the NewsHour, I speak to now former VA Secretary David Shulkin. Unrest in Sacramento after a controversial police shooting. The New Orleans mayor on his new book about confronting the South's Confederate past, and much more.